Hello, and welcome to this edition of Energy Connects discussions with me, Julian Walker, as I speak to leading energy executives and experts in the lead up to the Global Energy Show 2023, taking place on the 13th to the 15th of June at the BMO Centre at Stampede Park in Calgary, Canada. I'm delighted to have joining me for this episode today, David Hood, CEO of geoLOGIC Systems, to come and talk to me about the importance of data in the energy industry and also why the Global Energy Show is so important for the Canada's energy industry. David, thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having me, Julian.
Sure. So David, before we start, actually, could you just give a little bit background to the audience of geoLOGIC Systems and what you're doing in the energy space?
Absolutely. So we're actually, we're celebrating our 40th year in business this year. We grew from a very, very small subsurface data company into a large analytics and data management organization. We would have 75% of the market in Canada. We're the de facto standard there. And we have a range of solutions covering all aspects of the energy industry. In addition to our headquarters in Calgary, we have a location in Houston and in London, and then a big data operation in India and a software operation in Pakistan. And so we're really the source for energy information in Canada. We have a range of training capabilities that are actually funded by the federal government, where we're helping with ESG transition across the industry. And we also have very strong capabilities in the emissions space, and also all of the companies that are looking for next generation minerals like lithium, helium, hydrogen, and also CCUS capabilities are all using our products and tools.
Very interesting to hear, David. And I want to now jump onto sort of opening question of why is data usage so important in Canada's energy industry?
Well, data is key to everything the industry does. It's used to facilitate exploration and reserves estimation, production optimization, and asset integrity and maintenance. It's also critical for safety and environmental monitoring and regulatory compliance. The industry has gone through some of the most significant changes that I've ever seen in my career. And as these changes occur, it's important to measure your progress, and you need to understand your starting point and how far you've come. That all needs data.
Yes, and the energy transition, how is Canada embracing it, and how important then is data to that as well?
Well, we believe the phrase energy transformation is actually more appropriate than energy transition, as the latter implies that we're transitioning away from oil and gas, which is not realistic. The industry is, however, transforming the energy landscape by driving down emissions right across the board. And the entire industry is seized by the necessity of doing this. They're absolutely serious about it, and they're making huge investments and huge progress. Canada is an outlier in terms of data, and by that I mean there's more data available here, and it's of a higher quality than pretty much anywhere else. That makes the transparency of the industry second to none. And this broad and deep access to data informs better decision-making and facilitates the use of data analytics to derive improved insights. It also facilitates the development of better policy and regulations, although I must say that it sometimes feels that policymakers don't always use the data that's available to them.
Yes. And have you seen a greater demand of companies looking to acquire more data or to look to build more data around the assets?
Well, absolutely. There's a lot of data available in Canada, and it's really where the growth is coming from is on the emissions side, because if you really need to measure your progress, as I mentioned, in driving down emissions, and you need to understand your baseline. And we're used to tremendously detailed and consistent data sets of the subsurface. And while there's a lot of emissions data available, it's not yet as consistent as it needs to be, as the science is evolving, and in many cases, the measurement and collection of the data are not as good as they need to be. We're working to bring our deep data understanding to the problems to help deliver solutions. And we're also reaching out to the new players who are coming into the industry, such as looking after lithium, helium, hydrogen, and also the very strong push for CCUS. and geothermal. All of those players are using our data and our analytic tools.
That's really interesting. And I just want to touch on then the importance or growing importance of cloud computing and how that can help drive efficiency for energy companies. And you've seen a bigger demand for cloud computing from your clients.
Absolutely. There are many benefits of cloud computing. First, it provides scalability and flexibility. You can adjust your computing resources according to demand, and it reduces the need for investing in and maintaining expensive on-premise infrastructure. It also helps with data management and storage. The energy industry generates enormous amounts of data, and cloud infrastructure enables companies to securely store, organize, and access their data at scale. And you can also access the advanced analytics and machine learning tools that are often embedded in cloud platforms. So it makes a tremendous difference.
That's good to hear. And what sort of technical innovations are you seeing in the data space, or going forward? What else outside cloud computing and machine learning, AI? Are there things that you're looking at, or that could really revolutionize the data side?
Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of it is bringing informed understanding to the data. So, for example, some years ago, we purchased a technology out of California that really revolutionizes the way that you calculate production, production declines. And the way it's been done historically is an engineer would estimate a starting point and an end point and run one of four approximations to arrive at what they thought was going to happen with the decline of a well or a reservoir, or that sort of thing. In reality, that was always an estimate. Our technology goes right back to the basic equations that govern data flow in the reservoir, like the Navier-Stokes equations, and then runs them so that you get an almost instantaneous calculation of the data right across almost 1 million wells in the data. And so the testing we've done with our customers demonstrates that that's just as effective as the old manual way, and it's been a real game changer.
That's really good to hear, David. And just before we go, I also wanted to you touched on how data can be used, looking at emissions reduction. And are you just seeing that demand from clients, or wanting to understand what potentially methane emissions maybe? Are you seeing that companies in the energy industry are wanting to have the data there to be able to analyze what emissions they're having?
Absolutely. There's a tremendous push for that. Sometimes the technology around methane measurement is not quite there yet. Methane identification is one thing, but measurement is different. But it's a big push. We have groups who are helping us on what they need for methane, for CCUS, for lithium, helium. And so we're really trying to stay ahead of the curve there and make sure that we're delivering what customers will need tomorrow and not just today.
Well, that's good to hear. They're looking forward. So Global Energy Show coming up in June. What are you looking forward to at the show? But also, why has it become such a staple of Canada's energy industry?
Well, we've been attending the Global Energy Show and its predecessor shows for many years, and we were often the only company in our market segment that attended the show. So it provided an opportunity to stand out at that time. It's an important show because it brings so many people together from different sectors of the industry and overseas. So we attend there every year.
Thanks so much for taking the time out of your busy day to share some of your insights and views into the data segment of the energy industry in Canada. Really interesting, and I've enjoyed our conversation.
Yeah, likewise, Julian. Look forward to seeing you in Calgary.
Thanks everyone for watching. And just a reminder that the Global Energy Show will be taking place on the 13th to the 15th of June at the BMO Centre at Stampede Park in Calgary, Canada. Thanks everyone for watching.